What is this show? I I don't understand. I don't understand. Why internet? Why internet? Why would you do this to me? So yesterday, I decided I was going to watch something. And since you all recommended The Changeling, I watched it. I watched all 8 episodes. All 8. I don't know how to talk about this show. This show annoyed me. Annoyed. Okay, I'm just going to give you a brief synopsis, and then we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. First, before we go into it, I will tell you what I loved about this show. The acting was incredible, especially by Emma, who was played by Clark Backo. Her and LaKeith Stanfield did a fantastic job. They all did a fantastic job. Dina Porter, who played Apollo's mom, did a wonderful job. And Cal, played by Jane Kesmerick. I didn't like this. And you knew I was gonna like this. This is why you recommended it. I did not like this show. None of it. It was so confusing. It was so confusing. After episode 1, they jammed so much in there. They met, they got married, they had a kid. And I was like, whoa, show? Whoa, we got 8 more. Why you jamming it all in like that? And I come to realize either the people who wrote this were just giving up by the end, or they just didn't give zero shits. I'm gonna give you a brief synopsis. This woman played or Emma falls in love with a gentleman named Apollo. She decides after meeting him that she wants to take a trip. She goes to Brazil and she meets a woman, maybe a witch, maybe a ghost. I don't know. And this woman tells her that she can get 3 wishes. Why you would stick around after someone told you that? Right? They knew her name. She knew her name and even waved to her without even looking at her. Told her just come on over. Now these are red flags, baby. Red flags. So the lady stares at her with her 2 discolored eyes and tells her that she has 3 wishes. 1 wish for every knot that she's going to tie on this little rope around her wrist. And then that's where it cuts off initially. You don't find out for a while exactly what she wished. And then she comes back home to Apollo, who promptly cuts the string off her wrist and says, I'm gonna give you everything you ever wished for. You don't need that string. I'm like, come on, bro. Just you couldn't let her have a string. They end up having a baby named Brian on a train. And then everything from here on out is just batshit. Complete batshit. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. It was nowhere near this. I thought maybe somebody was going to get wishes, be like a genie kind of situation or something like that. No, none of that. The story gets split between Emma and Apollo's mom. Apollo's mom had to go through something with her ex-husband who kind of treated her like dirt because he knew nobody was coming to her aid. She had no family in the States, and she kind of had to make her own way with the child that he had, or that the child that she had with her ex-husband. Then we flash back to Emma, who's having postpartum depression, or at least so I thought, but she's not having that. It turns out, and stay with me here because this shit is about to get crazy. I know how it's gonna sound. I'm gonna jump around and try and make sense so it makes sense to you, but it ain't gonna make sense because it don't make sense to me. So Emma, convinced that her baby is a demon, or at least not human, or the baby that she had, unalives this child. As she unalives this child, she has Apollo, her husband, locked up in the next room, and he begs for the life of the baby. And she turns and tells him,
"It's not a baby."
Okay, all right. At this point, I'm kind of drawn back in because I want to know what's going on. But that's how they get you. That's how they get you, with more bullshit. Because the very next episode, he's in like it's not AA, it's for like people who got problems and they need to get him out, they need to work him out. And he meets a gentleman named William. William is just seems to be this nice man who wants to help out. Again, red flags. Somebody just walks up to you like, "Hey man, huh? I just want to help you out." Red flags, bruh. Red flags. So after Emma unalives the baby, Apollo passes out, right? And they free him. I guess the neighbor hears what was going on, or something like that. But they free Apollo, and Apollo is mourning the loss of his child, and the police never found his wife, but apparently this white gentleman, William, decides he can help Apollo find his wife, and he tells her that he's on an island with a bunch of other women who are fed up with their lives, or are going through something similar that Emma went through, and Emma's trying to convince everyone that what she's seeing is not fake, it's definitely real, and that these women on this island in the middle of New York can help her. And Apollo apparently ends up understanding where she is. God, this is giving me such a fucking headache to talk about. I'm going to stop trying to explain it from here because I really can't. I'll just tell you that in this, there's a demon who is in William, and there's an invisible monster who shows up to the island, along with people who live in a subway who grow their own food and do their own thing. And it's just, it doesn't make sense. This was not good. Okay. I get what they were going for. They were trying to have a fairy tale, and that's fine. I had no problem with that. Right. I got no problem with that whatsoever. It just didn't make a lot of sense. It was all over the page. It was like somebody took a paintbrush and was just throwing shit everywhere. Don't give a fuck here. It's too much. You gotta connect these dots, right? You gotta connect these dots. They went from nice old lady tying a string on a lady's hand, on around her wrist, to 3 wishes, to fucking visible monster, demon people, glowing lady roaming in a boat, just baby face is distorted and it's a monster. Just what? No, I don't understand. Episode 7 made the least sense because it was all centered around Apollo's mom. She goes back to a rundown hotel, and it's just her in this rundown hotel reliving some of the things that she had to go through when she was younger. It had zero to do with the impending story that I've been watching for the last 6 weeks, or for the last 6 episodes. 6 episodes. And you do a standalone episode, 1 episode before the season finale, with his mom who's staying in a rundown hotel? Why? And then we get to episode 8. I'm only talking about episode 8 because it was the closest thing to the most exciting show in this entire series so far. Apollo realizes that he brought the demon to the island with the ladies who just needed help. The demon calls the invisible monster to this island. For fuck's sake. He calls the demon to this island. The demon then it starts marching around, right? Apollo and Cal and the group of women who are hiding from an invisible monster. Invisible. First of all, let me just tell you right now, I despise when a TV show or movie, for that matter, try to implement a monster or something of great importance to a story and you make it invisible. Not only is it cheap, but it's lazy and it detracts from the story. And I hate it. I hate it. Give your monster some life, make it scary. You've drawn it, you've made it, then make it real, right? Put it on the page. Let people see it. Let people see how frightening it is. So Apollo gets with Cal and they try to get all the ladies off the island. They climb down this rope, which is on the side of this cliff. They all get down. And then Cal decides she wants to climb back up the rope and then have a 1v1 against William. She beats him. She could have crawled back down the rope, but instead she decides to unalive herself by falling off the cliff backwards. She could have climbed down the rope, but whatever. I mean, she apparently was staring at the invisible monster. I don't know how she knew it was like either looking at her or how close it was, but whatever. She did head her off the cliff, so it's fine. Not a big deal. Then we see William, who got beat up or unalived by Cal, gets dragged off by the invisible monster. And then Cal, who is all of a sudden, William, who is back to life, I assume, finds himself inside a cave. He's walking towards the end of it, and he sees a giant monster eyeball. I don't know what that shit's about. Make of that what you will. Emma is on the search for her child. She realizes that her child is in the forest somewhere. She walks into the middle of a forest and she finds a merry-go-round in the middle of fucking nowhere. And then she walks over to the merry-go-round and says, I'm coming for you. I'll get you, whatever. It doesn't make sense. Do you see how there's no dots connected in this bullshit? None? No dots. Come on. So keep them coming. You got something else out there that you want to recommend? I'm on board, man. I'm still trying to figure out what to watch next. It's got to be a movie or something at this point. Something that I can understand. Give me something that I can comprehend, that I can feed back to y'all, okay? Good or bad. Just let it be something that I can talk about normally so I don't sound like an idiot and people don't unsubscribe. All right, man. Y'all be good. I love y'all. Later.